Welcome to Real Money Talks. Real strategies from the moneymakers and the world changers that you can use to make millions, keep those millions, multiply your wealth, and build your team. Here's your host, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View, Loral Langemeier.
I was talking with my friend Leo the other day, and he and I basically were like, there's only 3 ways to really make money if you're talking to a kid. It's like you can either sell your time, you can sell a product, or you can invest capital. And each of those can go in a million different directions. But it's either your time, your product, sell a product, or investing capital. And I think the biggest thing for our kids that just like bumper stickers it is, do you want your money to make you more money while you sleep, right? Or do you want to blow your money on something today and it'll never work for you ever again, right? And that's what you're showing is, if you set this thinking, and it does come back to family values. I love that you said that, because what are the things that you care about as your family? In our workshops, right? Like in our foundations workshops, and we really talk about values and how do you share the stories and how do you build the right values in your family. And I think one of the critical pieces for your family needs to be, we plan ahead. Yeah. Right? Oh, definitely. We live on purpose, like
nothing just drops into our world. It's in very intentional living, very purposeful living. My kids make fun too, because I'm a Jeep girl, because I grew up on a farm in Nebraska still, I don't know. But they're like, Mom, you could have any car. Like, why do you drive a Jeep all the time? And then you accumulate Jeeps, like old Jeeps, like a 75. I just got a CJ5 75 Jeep. And they're like, you're the weirdest mom. You could buy anything. I was like, I could, but I don't want to. I'd rather have apartments. I'd rather have those people paying me rent. So I'm glad you brought up the time and the money, because that's I'd say basic, but it's important. So yeah, if you're forgetting that you can work for your money or your money can make money, and then I would dissect that and say, people say that comment. I dissect that with adults when I say everybody says they want passive income. Is owning real estate investments passive, really? So I created a term called pactive, because I don't want you ever to be passive. Passive means you're just going to sit on the couch eating bonbons and do nothing. Like, you still have to manage the money. You still need to check your accounts. You need to check your, investing statements. You still need to manage the TIs when a renter moves out. You might not have to, you might have a property manager, but don't tell me any of that should be totally passive. So I blow up the whole passive word because I think it's overdone. It's not true. I don't work that many hours, but nothing's passive. It's extremely intentional. Yeah. So yeah. And I like that you brought that up. So again, the compounding power is like your money can work for you. So then when you go back to like looking at apartment, like when I had to draw it out for, my new fiance or his new fiance, my soon to be daughter-in-law, it's like, do you want 3 people paying you rent, or do you just want to have one payment that's going to create nothing? So would you rather have 3 people paying you, right? Which then pays for the entire mortgage. And then you can just live in one of the 4plexes for a while. And then if you want to move on, and maybe you take that money, if you refinance or whatever you do, then you get 4 more doors, and then you get 4 more doors. And just to accumulate doors in your young years, that is my greatest advice for football play, for any young, even college kids. Anybody can get into a duplex, 4plex and start that way. That's what I did. I mean, I started like small. And then when I got pregnant with Logan, it's like, oh, I got to go big fast. But I could go big because I always call 4plexes and duplexes, like they're little first basers, right? They're not home runs, but they're little first basers. So you're going to get to first base. You're never going to hit a home run unless you can get to first base. So I teach from sports metaphors a lot. So we want to have a whole bunch of people on first base. So when it all accumulates, you have lots of home runs.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
I just teach into, those, again, make it practical. Like my kids are all, we're a big sports family. So I taught in a lot of sports metaphors, and even like training. So you get to go to the gym once and just get in shape. You don't get to go, into life once and just get rich. Like you got to go train. You got to do the reps. You got to get the practice in, right? Practice, I hate some of those cliches of practice makes perfect, but you don't get strong. And the other metaphor in muscle, in sports conditioning is, you got to strengthen your strengths. You got to atrophy those negative things. So we're like, atrophy the things that aren't really working for you. And how do you atrophy? You just give it no attention. and it's going to go away. So even you're like being in The Secret, right? Way back in the day, I was in The Secret. I mean, I talk a lot about muscle conditioning, money muscle conditioning. It's the repetition of the right behaviors over and over that's going to get you strong. It's not just showing up to one call with Travis Scott and I and saying, oh, I got it. No, this is a repetition because you don't know it. And the bigger problem with adults, you have to unlearn all the crap that was stuffed into your head for all those decades. You have to unlearn so much stuff. So it's actually, I think, more challenging for adults to get it. That's so our part of our charity, our community is your kids under 21 come free. I don't ever charge kids under 21. They all come free because I need them in your family. I need them with you. I need them in a conversation. You know, a task I give all of you is just to make sure you have a money conversation or a business conversation every day in some way. In some way, make it just part of a normal daily, because it is what you do. You may do it privately and unconsciously. You have to consciously bring it forward and take the time.
It's so brilliant. And one of the best assets our kids have is time, to invest their time. Like the time value of money is powerful. If they start now, you know, I think my challenge would be listening to Loral today. What can you guys do for this month coming up in December? Kids, breed entitlement over December like no one else.
Yeah.
And what can we do to teach delayed gratification or generosity and investing in this holiday season? Maybe the gift for them is the Roth IRA for Christmas, right? Maybe the gift from grandma and grandpa, instead of buying them all the random junk that's going to be in the back of the closet in a month, maybe grandma and grandpa's present is helping get the iFlip account and funding the first little bit and teaching and using it as a teaching moment. It's a brilliant way to have Christmas.
And put money in iFlip. And the other thing too, on the charity and giving side, is have your kids clean out. Like we've cleaned out clothes, toys. There's tons of places where you can donate your coats, socks, toys. And so have them pick 10 things that they're going to give away, and then know that they're going to do it. And then you don't go drive them down to wherever you're going to drop them off or take them. You take them with you and they deliver them. They deliver the toys they're going to give, or the coats or the clothes or whatever they're going to do. So be a part of that in the community. And then it's an interesting conversation, because then it's the disparity conversation. Well, how come those people are so broke? Like walking into a one-bedroom apartment with 5 kids, right? We've seen that. Like my kids have seen that. Like, and we live in this enormous house. And I said, it's about how you made and how you spend. I said, that's another way to get to some of the delayed gratification is, what life do you want? You know, are you going to be married with, you know, or just a single parent? I mean, whatever, you can have 5 kids in one bedroom apartment. You want each kid to have their own room. Like, how do you want your life to be as you grow into it? Because you're designing it now. Like all these roots, you know, as you say, you give them wings and roots. And so the roots are critical in those early ages.
This is so good. So
the other thing, you know, the one thing too, Travis, I got to bring it up, is a little more advanced, but I do it for the teenagers and the more advanced teenagers. Cause you can imagine like the families that have been around here for a couple decades, I got some really whipping smart kids, is arbitraging debt. So I have a very different spin on debt. And it's interesting, you know, using credit cards with kids. And I do have them use cards, and I have them go to old school. So like my daughter's had a card since she was 12, and it's got a $250 limit. Now it's got up to a little bit more, but she has to reconcile. She's got to go through the credit card statement. She has to pull out what was hers. Like if she bought gifts for friends, you know, cause it's my card, right? Cause it's an 18, right? She's not 18. So she's helping my credit, which is awesome. But she has to reconcile, and then she has to go to her personal account, and I still go old school with her. She has to write a check to pay for the things that weren't mine. And now with Gravy Stack, that's made it easier. So now we're actually, this weekend, we're going to have our conversation about how do you blend the way we were doing our cards and that to Gravy, and now use it all, right? Use your own personal debit card, Gravy Stack debit card, and your credit card. How does that work now? Because she's off to college in a year and a half, 2 years. Like I gotta start teaching her that stuff. So, and then make them behave. I got to say one thing, whether it's investing or income, consequences are critical, parents. And you can't, even though they take time to do, you have got to lay down consequences, or this whole thing was for naught. They have to know. They have to know there's consequences. And one of the more recent consequences is my son borrowed some American Express points from me to fly his girlfriend somewhere, and didn't tell me or didn't ask. Oh, that was Scott's already laughing. That was a really bad move, because that's called stealing in our family. So I exactly what it is. And my daughter saw it, and she's like, what are you going to do, Mom? And so I still pay for his corporate phone. I shut his phone off, completely disabled his technology from our entire world and system for 90 days. He freaked out. He's like, oh my gosh, do you know what it costs to get my own phone? I've never had my own phone. He's in his 20s. And I said, like, he'll never do it again. He's like, Mom, you have to give it back to me. Do you all of my stuff's like hooked up on my school? I said, that's really not my problem. None of this is my problem. You're the meanest mom. I hate you. I said, oh, here's my other funny saying. You can all use this one. When they say, you know what, I'm going to get it. I hate you. Blah, 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 blah. When they get like angry, I'll say, you know what, you are welcome to put an ad in the paper and try to find a new parent. Like, you are welcome to put an ad in the paper, say, find a new mom, see if they want you. You're welcome to go to an adoption agency. You're welcome to do whatever you want. So
healthy struggles right there.
Healthy struggles. Yeah, that's good.
So
yeah, I think a lot of parents, it's the easy button to cover the consequences for them.
Yes,
that's the easy button. And what we're really saying in this is proactive parenting, guys, not reactive. You are being proactive and making sure that they live out the consequences of their decisions in safety, but make them suffer the consequences. I mean, the best thing that I've seen is when parents give expenses to the kids. They make them do gigs after they've saved, invested, shared. Now they got their spend jar. If they don't got the money, they can't get the thing. That is a powerful thing to hold your kid to.
Yep.
Because that's where the learning happens.
Yep.
That's where got it. Now, yep, I am responsible for this.
Yep.
And then in the future, they will have that preparedness, planning ahead, the budgeting thought, the investing thought, and you're free as the parent to now be closer to them, to be more connected to them. These things only get worse as they get older, right, Loral? I mean,
unprecedented. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like, I was like, another thing, it just came up for me. So it's really funny. So Logan, when he got engaged, he called me and he said, so Mom, so can I use the Bank of Laurel? That's what he called it. He said, can I use the Bank of Laurel to buy this engagement ring? Or they have this thing called layaway. And I died laughing because, like, we've never used layaway. Like, I've never explained layaway to him. And I said, well, go ask them if there's any interest on the layaway. And I said, because this is a very special moment for you. You do not want to use the Bank of Mom, and you do have other money. And he said, well, you won't let me borrow it for myself. And I said, because you can go make it. He says, it's not that much. I mean, he's a very, 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 he's a great trader. He's a tutor. I mean, he knows how to turn it on and make some money. I mean, he can make a couple $1,000 in a weekend if he wants. So I said, just go make it. I said, that's your obvious option. And lots, as a parent, a lot of people don't think, just go make it. So anyway, he went back and he said, well, this layaway thing's kind of cool. There's no interest payment. He said, so then you put it on layaway and you figure out how to go make the money. And then when you go in, you pay it all off. But like, you're just like, I just brought up that point of being close to them. I mean, at 23, 24 years old, I mean, we are so connected in such an intense way. And he does want the generational wealth. He knows what we have and he knows it's coming to him. And I'm a huge fan of showing them what you have early. Like, I took him, we have a huge, I grow medical marijuana. So I have a huge farm. So I took him out and we ran a calculator and he's like, oh my gosh. He said, Mom, how are we going to do this? And he said, I'm going to be a CPA in agriculture and cannabis. So that's really where he's on. He says, if I'm going to inherit this, I said, you and your sister are going to get all this. So early, you got to bring him in. And if he actually makes it and he does what he wants to do, then he does. But you got to like set big targets for them that are in their future that they want to work for. So they get today and they get the future. So like in my vehicle conversation, I said, it's just like maintenance. I said, it's so easy to have a Jeep. I said, if I had a Lamborghini, I said, just to do like one repair is going to cost like, $10,000, $15,000. I said, so you got to look at all of that. How do you really want to spend your money? Is it really that big a deal to have a Lamborghini over a Jeep? So everything's relative. Everything's got to be very spelled out. It can't just be like throwaway words or throwaway terms. And you're going to be shocked how close these kids get to you. And you build it together as a family. So it's not just you doing it. It's not just them doing it. You all did it together. And you really lean on each other in a very positive way.
Yeah. So much of this is just being open, being honest, being vulnerable as a parent and bringing them along with you on this journey. I think the irony of Gravy Stack is that we're probably helping the parents more than the kids at this point. Like, it's the tables have turned. I mean, obviously long term, it's massive for the kids. But what we've seen is so many instances where parents are having delightful lives
Same with this, Scott. Like last year when we launched this, because it came out in May of 2022, we were shocked. We thought kids would be all over it. Parents are like, I don't even know how to do it. So give us the checklist. And now they're getting the book. Now they're including their kids. But yeah, we were shocked too. Like this is a parenting book more than it's a kid's book, because the kids are just not oriented, because the parents aren't oriented.
Here's your best December gig, guys. Grab that book and make it a $10 gig for the kids. Simple as that. It's a brain gig right there. 2 things they learned, 1 thing they're going to implement today. That's how you do the best brain gigs in our system. And now you've got incredible money conversations for the next 2 months straight, talking about Loral's brilliant book. That would be my hope for all of you guys. What an amazing gig. I mean, this is the system that brings kids along and creates that true family legacy that you want. And remember, guys, it's not about what you die with, how many dollars you die with. That's not legacy. Legacy is the journey. Legacy is what you're instilling in them, right? That's why heritage means more than inheritance. Loral is a living proof of this with her kids, and soon to be daughter-in-law and probably grandkids here pretty quick in the next few years. So
and I have a game, and to that point, and Logan's like, we transitioned from a big conference building, just to space we rent down to Carson City off of Lake Tahoe. And when we moved, all my memorabilia, I mean, you got 20 years of, best-selling stuff. The whole building's full of my memorabilia and pictures with, famous people from all over the world. And he said that exact thing. He said, Mom, you need to get, he said, I want to have like 4 or 5 kids. He said, so I need 5 of every book. I need 5 of every game. He said, my kids and my grandkids all have to have this. They have to know what grandma did. I mean, but it's funny, like how they take it when you start pulling stuff back, how they lean in further. So I know we're supposed to talk more about investing. I don't feel like we did, because as they're young, I mean, it is kind of iFlip, and and even if the money goes into a money market or CD or just some, like I say, kind of boring or stuff for a while, get their eyes on, like, I love small business. I know the most impactful stuff. I mean, real estate was big for my kids, but I can tell you their memories are the laundromat. It's a little hair salon we owned. It was a little nail salon we owned. The pizzeria was still like the all famous family owning thing. And we only kept them for a year or 2. Like, there weren't businesses I wanted to run for a long time, but I wanted the kids' experience. And I did it with partners, just to give you parents an idea how to do it. So that you're not like, I didn't have to run it. Right. These businesses needed money. I was their investor. And then we partnered together, but our kids got into it. So again, the more relative it is, the better it is.
Yeah.
Right. So
I just thought of this too. Childrensbusinessfair.org. There are 2,000 business fairs now all over the world. They're in 500. We started this 10 years ago just for fun as a give back. And now it's in thousands of areas all across the country. Most likely there's one in every single one of your cities. That's a great way for kids to get their first thinking in business, their first understanding of profit and cost of goods and how to pitch and how to understand marketing, how to sell to safely in an environment. And then using those funds to seed investments is one of the best moves you can make. So if you want to go to that you can go to that site and look it up, or start your own. You just bring all the local kids in. We had ours last weekend with 250 kid businesses and 1,000 customers at Arcadia Park in Phoenix. Brilliant way to help your kids start to understand delayed gratification, compounding interest. It's a form of investing. If you look at it, the kids, they put in like $30, $40. They make $200 in 3 hours on average. And now they can use those funds and continually compound it, either in that business more or into iFlip or other trading investing opportunities. Yeah. So that's so good. Go ahead, Trav.
One more gift too. We dropped this in the chat, and I'll drop it again. But we do have a special gift / discount for our 7 family money skills waging war and entitlement course. So if you want to jump in, some of y'all on this call have already taken it. You're in it, or you want to share with a family or friend. That's the link you can get. That is really, most of the parents that we hear from are like, I just don't even know where to start. And so a lot of things that Loral's mentioned. Take the family money skills course. Even if you have a high schooler, they can take it. It's very, it's kind of the base level. But Scott and I were talking yesterday, and Scott and Lee had the idea of what's the ROI on like getting started, like Loral's talking about, whether that's money skills or gravy stack or just kind of getting in the game. Yeah. It's like it's millions of dollars and probably a lot of saved money from and trauma from counseling sessions, honestly. So just get started.
Yeah.
And
everyone should let's put Laurel's link too again in here for her freebies, because I would love for this room to attend any of her events. I mean, she's world class.
Well,
and she's talking tens of millions of people at least. And so I want to make sure that you guys have the freebies she's offering today and really engage more with her community and her events. And she really is, she's one of the most generous givers of content and resources and time. So make sure that you guys just engage and follow. And let's also make sure we put in the links to follow her. I mean, she's crushing on TikTok. I love when anyone over 25 years old crushes on TikTok. What are you at right now, Laurel? I haven't even checked your account lately, but it's exploding.
Steve knows. I think we're headed north of 300,000. And a couple of years ago, I did it and it's still out there in the first video when my daughter and I did those first TikTok dances. And I'm thinking, what a funny little channel. Like now I'm getting millionaires millionaires who want to be multimillionaires in other industries as clients straight out of TikTok. It's crazy. I did put my TikTok and Instagram because people have ripped off my channel. And so be careful that I have a lot of rip off stuff out there. So at Ask Loral is my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Okay, cool.
And then The Millionaire Maker is my YouTube channel. So one of the cool things too, is we did these YouTube journals because it's family friendly. So there's no, it's all appropriate for, I would say 5 years old and up. So get one of these for Christmas that says what video, what day. And I'm going to say the word, it forces the conversation to families who want to know how to do this. So it's what's the video, what did you learn, and what are you going to do? So you couple this with Gravy Stack and iFlip, you've got the whole thing. You've got the book who tells you 87 things to do with your kids from 0 to 20. Every day, the kids have to watch something. And then at dinner, what I encourage the families to do on my YouTube channel is everybody has to share one thing they learned from the video today, but nobody can share the same thing. They can't say, oh yeah, I got the same thing. Nope. What's something new? So if you have 5 people in the family, you got 5 points of learning, and you add to everybody's journal, who adds to the money, who adds to the investing account. And I think, just kind of wrapping the investing, it's the behavior, it's the consistent behavior of make it, invest it, that you've got it. Like you get that instilled, you got gold. You got gold. If you're just going to keep them in the habit of making, spending, having to hustle for their next dollar, and like that, it's the pattern that you want to instill young. So we have all sorts of cool stuff to totally do a family environment. The event, kids can come, and 3 hours of the event, it goes from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And actually next Thursday is our last one of the year. I teach what it takes to be a millionaire, how to live corporate life. And then we go into your business. We actually do a funnel, we do pricing. And then from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, it's an open marketplace. We have hundreds of people out there selling all their stuff, and it's through Zoom. So I would just get on and I would say, so, Travis, you want to do, a session. So I call them ask, tell, ask. I'm going to ask you what you want. I'm going to tell you I'm your solution. I'm going to ask you for money. It's very simple little how to get money conversation. But from 3 to 6, we have people making thousands of dollars every couple of weeks on this marketplace. So grab those tickets. It's really fun.
That's
and your
awesome.
kids will love it. Your kids are going to love it.
This is awesome. What an hour. What an hour. Okay.
Let us help.
Yeah, let us help. And Laurel, thank you again for your time today. There was so much gold in that. And Heather, I want to make sure that we snippet out some of this stuff and share it with the community and get more people to have her link as well. And obviously learn more about Elite too. I know that this was gold for us. I've got my Otter AI in here giving notes to Amy too for Christmas and what 3 things we're going to do from today. But for all of you guys listening, thank you again. We're going to be not talking again until I think a month right after the holidays, I believe.
January. Yep.
We're meeting again in January.
And I'll join as many times as you want.
Awesome. Yep. We are definitely having Laurel back to train. But yeah, thank you guys so much. If you're still on here, just put a quick thank you to Laurel in the chat. Let's thank her for her time with us today. Laurel, you're a world class for a reason, for a very good reason. And
I'm so excited to be part of Gravy Stack. And just like, it just completes all of it, because we're going to kick green lights rear. I flip sticking, Robin Hood's rare. And so just the whole system now works, from the books to the games to the bank to the like investing platform. Like you can't say you don't have the tools. Like the tools are all here. Now it's about executing into your family, which is why I love being a part of these, because that's when you get the fulfillment with those kids.
There you go. Beautiful. Okay. Well, thank you so much again, everybody, for your time. Thank you, Loral.
Thanks for listening to the Real Money Talks podcast. Your host has been Loral Langemeier, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View. Want to learn more about off-Wall Street investing, tax strategies, and multi-million-dollar business strategies? Visit liveoutloud.com/podcast for past episodes, show notes, and resources. For some special wealth building gifts only for Loral's podcast listeners, visit liveoutloud.com/podcast gifts. Do you have a burning question for Loral? Visit askloral.com to submit your question, and it may just be covered on a podcast episode. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to get new episodes every week.